Hello everyone. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and I am so glad you're either here tonight or you're watching the replay. So tonight we are going to chat all about some hacks and some things I do at the end of the year that just kind of help make the end of the year a smooth transition for my kiddos and for me, because end of the year, it's crazy. The kids are crazy. It's just so busy. And then all the, I don't know about you, but I get really big, nervous feelings at the end of the year because there's just so much to do. And then I start to worry about next year and all the things I want to do for next year. So I'm going to hopefully help you ease some of that anxiety tonight. So hello, Jennifer, Judy, Veronica. Hello. Thanks for joining us. So at the top of this post, you're going to find some things. So you'll find a link to my blog, which has some freebies for the end of the year, some end of the year kid gift freebies. And then there's also links to my TPT store with all of my end of the year resources. So let's just kind of jump right in and get started. So the kids are a little extra bonkers at the end of the year, and probably a little bit extra this year just because, just the COVID and all the things. So I try and add as much sensory as I possibly can and gross motor. So we are moving a lot during Circle. We're acting out those stories. We are adding movement to the stories. We're singing, we're dancing for transitions. Just getting them up and moving, doing activities where they're up and moving. One of my favorite things to do to get them up and moving are giant butcher paper activities. And you can do these on the floor or on a table. Here's some I saved. Like, I'm talking giant. Okay. So this is giant letter dotted. I just put some butcher paper on the floor, wrote the letters in permanent marker, and then put markers out, and they dotted the letters. They loved it so much we did 2. So there's a whole blog post about this on my blog if you want to know how to do it. Not that I don't think you guys can figure it out because it's super simple to do. But it's so much fun. It gets them up, moving, crawling around, dotting the letters, talking about letters. I'm going to put this down because it's kind of loud. And then also too, save your butcher paper activities, because if you have a graduation or if you have any events in your classroom, and let's say all the little brothers and sisters come in, what you want to do is use these gorgeous butcher paper activities to block off shelves, or maybe you push shelves to the side and it kind of looks messy. Just tape those big butcher paper activities over the shelves, and 1, the families will see what the kids are doing at school, and 2, all of those things will be hidden so no one can get in them during your graduation or event or whatever it is. So it's kind of a dual purpose. Oh, if you want to know I did a Facebook Live on how I did graduation with my preschool and pre-Kers. Pre-COVID, so it wasn't last year, but it was the year before. I did a Facebook Live literally like a half an hour before we had graduation, so you can see how I set it up with using those butcher paper papers to cover shelves and things. So if you want to see that link is at the top of this post under the past Facebook Lives. So if you need that, those graduation ideas are up there for you guys. And it's literally set up for my graduation because I did the Facebook Live right before it. So that's there if you want it. But yeah, so use those big butcher paper activities to cover stuff. Those big butcher paper activities are great too because you're taking down bulletin boards, right? So they're either empty because hopefully you can leave them up, but if you can't, just tape them to the wall. That way your walls don't look so bare, and it's just, I don't know, bare walls with things, when everything starts coming down, it just kind of makes me sad. And it's just, I don't know, I know it's ending, but just keep that stuff up on the walls to kind of just keep keep the families knowing that you are learning and you're doing stuff with your kiddos until the very last day. Because we know we do stuff and we have lesson plans all the way until that last minute they walk out the door. But I think sometimes families think that, oh, it's the last week of school, they're just kind of playing, which they always think anyways. But that way, if you take your bulletin board down, you can just tape your butcher paper activity up. So yeah, so super simple. Somebody asked, did the bingo dots bleed through the ground? So I was selective when I picked what bingo markers I put out, because you know how there's some bingo markers that are super liquidy? I didn't put those out, and then I put the ones that were maybe starting to get like older and like dried up a little bit. I put those out, and I only had a couple spots go through, and a magic eraser kind of wiped it right off the floor. So yeah, so butcher paper activities are great. So, and then sensory is so much fun. I love these little trays. You can also just use like plastic tubs, like Sterilite tubs, or any kind of tub you have. But these are great to put out for like morning arrival time. I like to toss in like little toothbrushes, a whisk, because they can make the bubbles, tweezers, as always, little droppers. You can have the fancy ones or the little ones, up to you. And then what do you put in here, right? So you can put your animals in here, kind of like we always do, right? Like you put your pets in there and they can like have a pet wash or cars. But let your kiddos help you wash all the things. So if you have some counters that you want sanitized, throw those in there and they can wash your counters. And then I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, but now I have to clean this up. No, you don't. Just have them, when you're walking around during cleanup time, have them take the bugs or whatever thing they cleaned and have them put it in the colander. So now you have all this in the colander. You can go to the sink, wash it off, and then put it on a tray to dry and do the bleach water spray. That's what we do in my state. We do the 3-step method. So that way you can sanitize them, get all the soapy bubbles or residue off. And then now you have your toys cleaned, the kids had fun, and they were developing all those fine motor muscles while they were scrubbing and having fun. So the colanders are great for that. You can also put mini erasers in water. Watch it, you guys. It's fine. They won't get hurt. I know a lot of us spend a lot of money on mini erasers, but look, it's fine. It's wet. It's not a big deal. They can scrub the mini erasers. They can just play with them in the water. They're great for water play. Pom-poms are really fun for water play. And you guys, they dry. It's okay. Now, are they going to be perfect like they were before? No. The pom-poms will not. So I have some water play pom-poms that I use that I keep for water play. So that's an idea. And look, you can just put the mini erasers in the colander with the bugs, and then there you go. And then if you have a whole bunch of different ones, then the next day you can have them sort them out and kind of separate them back to kind of the different sets you had, or by color or whatever you wanted to do. So always soapy water and animals, but don't forget about those counters, those connecting cubes, basically anything plastic for a math manipulative or a literacy manipulative. Just don't put the magnets in the water because they'll rust. So yeah, so that's a fun idea. Sorry, I step everywhere like always. If you have some sensory things that you haven't used yet this year, put those out. Like water beads are really fun. Now, please be very, very careful with water beads, because if your kiddos eat one, this can like totally tear up their inside. So if you use water beads in your classroom, make sure you are with the kiddos at the table at all times, because they're very dangerous if ingested. So yeah, water beads are fun. And then also too, the last day before you throw water beads away, put shaving cream in them, because it is so much fun. But you'll have to toss them after you use the shaving cream. You can also, I know we all do this during the winter, and for like snow and ice fun, but shaving cream and pattern blocks, shaving cream and cups, shaving cream and counters on a tray, shaving cream and paint, potions, all the fun things. Get that shaving cream out that last week. You can also add a little bit of sand for a fun texture, but get out the shaving cream, and if you can't use shaving cream, try whipped cream. Get all of the sensory stuff out, you guys. It is worth the cleanup. Absolutely, positively worth the cleanup. Regina says, are water beads worth the risk? And I would say you have to use your judgment on that. Some years I would not use water beads in my classroom because I had kids who put things in their mouth. Some years I didn't, or maybe I had a smaller class that day, or that year, or you have to decide for you. But again, dangerous if ingested. I don't use them a lot in my classroom just because they make me nervous. But you do you. Yes. So there's that. So yeah, lots of sensory play. Another fun thing I like to do during transitions is, and I always do this for transitions, I always do, like my cleanup songs are always kids bop songs because they have a fast tempo, so they're cleaning up faster because usually they kind of clean up to the beat. And then when they're done cleaning up, they get to go dance, which does two things. Gets their wiggles out, it gets their body moving because they're getting all that energy out so then they can sit for circle or whatever the next activity is. But these bracelets are so fun. So I keep all of them on like a book ring or a metal ring so they don't get tangled. Okay, you guys, I made these my first year of teaching. My first year. And they still, they look a little rough. But the kids love them and they are so much fun. So all they are, I'll show you. So they probably need some more like ribbon on them, but you guys look, it's just a, it's just like one of those plastic bracelets from the Dollar Tree. They each get one, just one. And then all I did was tie ribbon on it. And this is that ribbon that like, that curls for wrapping. And I bought them on like a spool. And just, I think each one has there's 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 2 blue. And some of them have green. Some of the greens have fallen off. But this is it, and they get to swing them and dance with them. This is like one of their favorite things for music and movement. And I bust out all of our fun stuff that we have used for music and movement all year during cleanup because it gets them to clean up faster because at this point in the year, cleanup is hard and it's a struggle, at least in my classroom, because they're done. They're done. They want to go outside. They want to play. They want to be with their friends because they know it's ending or they're moving classrooms or whatever it may be. So turn some Kids Bop on or whatever fun music, have them clean up, and then when they're done, just you be at circle or another teacher be at circle and hand it out and just give them one, or you can use egg shakers, anything. And you guys, again, I've had these for 15 years. 15, and they're still going strong. So yeah, and I just keep them on a book ring. So this is a big trick. When they're like done, the song goes off, I just pulled out my pointer fingers and they just they just hook the bracelets on my finger. So that way I just put the book ring right through. And I know that sounds so silly, but otherwise they get to a big tangly mess. And then I literally hook this on my easel and I just put it on the back. And then they're great. And they're so fun. And they only need one. And they're so fun. But yeah, so ribbon bracelets on a dollar store teacher budget. Okay. You can also use like fancy gorgeous ribbon, but I just didn't have the budget for that. Okay. So another thing. So we're gonna add lots of sensory in. We're gonna do some dance parties during cleanup. The next thing is, what do you put out for centers, right? So every day, like not the very last week, but the week before. So I read the books that I read at the beginning of the year to introduce the centers. So I read Lola Goes to the Library to introduce Library Center. I either read like Dreaming Up or Jack the Builder to talk about the Block Center. I use Science Tools for the Science Center. Pete the Cat. Oh no, this is the wrong Pete the Cat. I read the Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons because it's math. And then, yeah, so I read those, and then after each story, we do an anchor chart. So, where is it? So, like, after we read I Ain't Gonna Paint No More for Art, and then we just kind of reflect, and we talk about all the things we did in that art center. This is the chart from last year, and then I hang these up for graduation or around the room or whatever. Again, all the bulletin boards are down, so these are perfect to kind of pop up on the wall. So we read a book about that center, and then we talk about all the things that we did in that center or their favorites, and it kind of gets them like remembering all the fun things. And I love it because it tells me what stuck in their head. What are their favorite things from preschool? What are the things that they love the most? Because if they remember them all the way at the end of the year, I mean, that is an activity, or that's a theme, or that's something that they really, really enjoyed. So it's kind of helps me plan for my next year. We also talk about pretend. We read the book A to Z. Oh, I forgot what it's called. It's like A to Z, like Who Can I Be or something, but it's about all the different people you can be when you grow up. And we talk about all the different places that pretend has changed to. Missy said, will you share the books to introduce each center? So on my blog, I have all of these books because these are the books I use at the beginning of the year in my first day of school lesson plans. But after I'm live, I'll pop all of these in the comments for you guys. Like here's Black. So we read either Jack the Builder or Dreaming Up. And then we talk about all the different things that they have built. And again, these are ones that I did with my class, not last year because of COVID, because we shut down, but the year before. And then we also do a like generic one, like all the things we've learned about this year. And again, we're just reflecting on what we've done. But yeah, it's so fun to like hear and think about and reflect on and hear their stories of what they remember, what was special to them. And then like, let's say we're talking about all of our favorite math games or all the things that we've learned in math. If they have, at the end, I'm usually like, is there any math game or math manipulative, is there something like math we did that you want me to get out of the closet? I will pull that out for those last 2 weeks, because if they can remember what is in the closet and something they love that's in there, if we get it out, if I would put that out for them because that's what they wanted, that's what they're telling me they want, that's what they're telling me they loved and they want to play with again, they will be super engaged when I put those things out. And you guys, that's your lesson plans for the last week. Tell them, what was your favorite math manipulative? What was your favorite math game? What was your favorite kind of block to build with? What was your favorite puzzles? Like all the things. And as you do like all these charts, they'll tell you, and it's great. Or you can say, hey, what out of the closet was if you could pick one thing out of our closet, what would you get? And then put that out that last week, and they'll be engaged. Okay. And if they didn't talk about something, you'll know it. Either just, it wasn't, not that it wasn't like their favorite thing, it just wasn't very memorable. And that's okay too. Don't let it hurt your feelings. I am in a multi-age classroom, so some of my kids would come back to me the next year, and some of my kids would go to kindergarten. So we would divide up into 2 groups, and I would read with one group the night before preschool, and then I would read, another teacher would read the night before the 12 days of kindergarten, or the night before kindergarten, just a book about kindergarten, and then we would read the kid was coming back to preschool, we would read a book about preschool, because preschool would be different next year when they come back, because there's going to be new kids, and then we talk about how they're going to be the big kids next year and how they're going to have to help their friends do question of the day and morning routine and all of the things. So it kind of hypes them up that they're not going to kindergarten, that they get to come back and they get to be the big kids and they're going to be my helpers the first couple weeks. So it gets them hyped up, and it also prepares them for it to be different when they come back, and with different kids and kind of what to expect. And if your teachers are changing in your classroom, you can talk about that too and say, oh, you know, Miss Jenny was with us last year, but she's not going to be here next year. She's moving to this classroom, but we get this teacher with us next year, if you know that. And then for the kiddos talking about that are going to kindergarten, you can kind of just talk through that, how it's going to be different, how are they feeling, just all of the things to kind of help them transition into kindergarten. I also like to read Wheels on the Bus, so we can talk about, is how we get to school going to change next year, or is it going to be the same? Again, just helping them prepare for if they have a transition. And then we also read some feeling books, because if they're going to kindergarten, that's a huge change for them and for the family. Or if they're coming back next year, or, you know, and they're going to be the big kid, that's still a big deal for that family, that this is their last year of preschool next year. So we read some feeling books. This one is a new feeling book I got. It says The Boy with Big, Big Feelings. It's just a new one I got this year. And just talks about different parts of his day and how he's feeling, and how he has big feelings, and they stick with him, and it talks about having big, beautiful feelings. This one is beautiful things would stick in his brain and not leave him for hours. The fur of a dog, a fluffy white cloud, his mama, a banjo, some flowers. And then it also talks about, obviously, when, you know, he has big feelings that are tricky, like being frustrated and things like that. So that's a really fun one. Any feeling book you have will work. You don't have to have this one. So just read some of those feeling books and kind of talk through, label some of those emotions they're having, and kind of acknowledge them. And it may change. Today they might be excited, tomorrow they might be sad, or they might be nervous, and that's okay. Another book I love to read at the end of the year is You Are Ready, by Eric Carle. The world is waiting. It's time for you to spread your wings. So it's basically about like a change or a transition. It has some of our favorite characters in it, from different Eric Carle stories. So this is a great one to read at the end of the year, because they're getting ready for new things, whether it's changing classrooms, being the big kid at preschool, or they're going to kindergarten or first grade or whatever it may be. That's a good one. And then my other one I love, this is another new one I got this year. I Wish You Happiness is another great end of the year book, because it's talking about, and the illustrations are gorgeous. So that's another good one for the end of the year. So those are some circle time books. The last 2 weeks I read. So I don't really do like a theme per se the last 2 weeks, because again, we get out all of our favorite things that we've done this year, and we kind of reflect on this year and talk about how things are going to change next year. So I don't do a theme per se, but if I do pull out like some math centers or some literacy centers that maybe like, for morning table time or something, I usually pull out like a summer theme. So this is like my summer math and literacy centers pack. So I will pull stuff out from my summer theme pack, and I'll show you how I get all of everything organized in just this point. So that's kind of what I do for centers that last week, just because we learn until that very last day, last minute of the day. Now, packing all of their stuff. Oh, let me show you their end of the year gifts first, because this is a freebie. You gotta grab this. So I have a whole bunch. So I have these little cards on my blog. They're free. So you pick what. Now again, you can do these, you cannot do these. It's hold on, how to get rid of that. These are on my blog. They're free. So I have little tags for bubble wands. I have little tags you can do for sunglasses, which, from Dollar Tree. Let's see what else. If you want to do just pencils, I have one of those, a tag for pencils. I also have a tag if you want to just send home some candy or something sweet. It doesn't have, you could do like a granola bar or fruit bar or fruit snacks, or like a trail mix, up to you. And then I also have one for a book, dig into a good book. So you can, oh, here, I put a shovel with them. So you get it, dig into a good book. So So, you know, the dollar books from Scholastic, those are fun to use. And then I also, where is it? I just keep it all. And then I have one for the bucket. I don't know where it went. But there is another one that's for a bucket. I don't know where it went. But, or you could do the dig in. Oh, there it is. This year was buckets of fun. So you could put, if you want to grab some buckets, you can put that on there for the bucket. So again, these are free on my blog. If you want to do a student gift, you can. If you don't, you absolutely don't have to. Don't feel that pressure to do everything for everyone at the end of the year, because it's, again, crazy, busy. This year especially, this year has been hard, horrible maybe for some of us. I'm not teaching this year, so I can't imagine what you guys have gone through. I know what I've gone through as a parent, and teachers this year are superheroes. So you guys are amazing. So if you guys feel you want to do some like end of the year gifts, great. If you don't, totally don't. I also have diplomas. I have ones that are in color, ones that are in black and white, and there's a whole bunch of different. I say diploma, and I think it says like completion, maybe? Can't remember. But anyways, like if they're not graduating, like if they're gonna be like the big kid in the class next year, and you still want to give them something, that's like a completion. And there's a whole bunch of different words like pre-K, TK, kinder, preschool, all the things. So these are in my TPT store if you need diplomas. So that's that. And then, oh, I forgot one more thing. So the last like 2 weeks of school, we work on our memory books during our journal time. Like every day we'll do just one page. So like this page is their handprint. And there's a whole bunch of things to choose from. And they're super simple. You can make them as complicated or as quick and simple as you want. This one's just a self-portrait. I learned about Triceratops. So we did a dinosaur theme. My favorite center was the block center. My friends. And then now I can. I love playing maybe. And then autographs. So what I do for the autograph one is I just put them out all on different tables, and they just walk around and they sign everybody's. And if they skip one, it's okay. And what I do is if you have 3-year-olds signing, you know, when I taught full day, I had up to 25 kids in my class. So signing their name 25 times is hard, especially if their name is long and they're 3. So put them out a couple different days. You don't have to do it all at once ever. You can also just put them out like let's say you had lunch and you know some of your 3-year-olds need more time to do this page. Just put a couple out and say, hey, you guys want to come sign them? And they'll be so excited. And sometimes the kids sign them twice, and that's fine. And if they scribble, that's fine, because that's where they are. That's where they're at. If they're signing their name backwards and upside down, that's okay. That's how they're signing their name. And then also, I'm going to cover it up, but there's also a page so you can do a note for the teacher. So you can write a little note to everyone, and then they'll have it always, and then they take these home on the last day of school. So these, it's my memory book, and then again, there's a whole bunch of different titles. These are in my TPT store, and I love doing these with my kids. Again, it's just another way for them to reflect, kind of wrap up the year, and process that things will change next year. Now, the kids have so much stuff to take home. So what I do is the last like week or week and a half of school, I get either a laundry basket or a big tub, and I start putting all the things with their names on them in there. So I put class books in there. I usually keep the cover and then put the pages in. If I have sensory name tags, obviously I wouldn't put these on top of paper, but you can put like if you made sensory bags with their name, if you made name sensory bottles, if whatever you made that has their name on it, artwork, maybe You have their portfolios that you're sending home. Put all of that in one spot, and that way you don't forget anything. And like they go home and you're like, oh no, I forgot all the class books. And you can have the other teachers in your class help. Say, hey, if you guys see anything that has their name on them, like me blocks, if you do those, you can take them off. If you let them keep them, put those in there. So yeah, so name cards, if you have a whole bunch of their name cards, put those in there. And just anything that has their name on it. Fine motor journals, any of their journals. Maybe they have pencil boxes for like, or other journals, because you know, COVID, we have a lot more individual stuff this year. And then, so I have the 2 laundry baskets. And then what I do is I go to the grocery store and I get a bunch of these big paper bags. And then I don't do it on the last day because I send everything home the day before the last day, just in case they don't, they're not there on the last day, which happens sometimes with vacations. And extra clothes I put in there too. I literally line these up because these are the ones that have the photos on them. So I line them up, and then if the kiddos want to help, they can help. So they can grab a handful of stuff and they can put the things in the bags and they can help. So they're reading names and they're putting stuff away. And again, I just line them up. If you want to see a photo of what that looks like, I have it up on my blog of how I did it. And I totally did it even when I had, when I taught full day and I had 25 kids in my class, on my roster. I could only have 18 a day. It was just a huge long line of bags. I will say though, put the heavy stuff in first. So if you have like portfolios and journals and things, I would put those in there first. If you have anything that has a liquid in it, put it in a separate bag, and then put it in so it doesn't get gross or leak on accident on anything. So yeah, so that's what I did, and I let the kiddos help me, and it was always amazing to have them help me. And then they're also, you know, working on those literacy skills as they're matching up all those names. So yeah, super fun. Okay, another thing to do is for you. So now you have your lesson plans squared away, you have end of the year gifts, you have certificates, you have all their stuff, an idea how you're gonna do that. Now, let's talk about, oh, one more thing. So what are you gonna send home with them to learn at home over the summer? So in my TBG store, I have those choice boards last year that a lot of you guys sent home during distance learning. Those would be perfect, and they're a freebie to send home with your kiddos over the summer, because there's a reading choice board. Let me unclip it. There is a math choice board, and again, these are free in my TBG store. So that way parents don't feel like they have to do one thing every day. There's art and sensory, movement. There's a tech page. So you could send these home. That way it's not, quote, homework, but yet you're sending them, you know, activities to do at home that are appropriate. I also have parent handouts. They come in English, Spanish, and French. You could send these home with your kiddos. I also have like summer learning, little appropriate for little learners. I have a literacy and a math one. You could send those home. And if you bought the home learning, like weeks 1 and 2, 3 and 4, you can send those home as well. And just send them home in like a little packet. And it's like little choice boards for each day of the week. So tons and tons of things to send home. I would send home something with your kiddos. And even if you're just sending home these freebie, like the choice boards, that's fine. Because let's be honest, they're not going to remember that these are the choice boards you sent home at the end of last year. And if they are, they're probably in the trash by now. Or hopefully they did them and that's why they're in the trash. Okay, so send them some kind of appropriate summer homework to do with them over the summer. Okay. Now, on to you. So here are some things that you can do to help you get organized for this school year and next year. So on my blog, I have these handouts. And after this, I want you to, this is your homework, yes, yours. I want you to go on the blog, on my blog, pocketofpreschool.com, search end of the year, the link's at the top of this post if you want it, and print these off. So this one is the end of the year list. So there is a list to clean, to print and copy, to organize, and then other fun stuff. So put this on a clipboard and then keep track of things you want to do for the end of the school year. And then this one is one that I would always need over the summer. So this is your inventory list, because you know you're gonna go to Target in the middle of the summer or the Dollar Tree and be like, do I have that in my classroom? But you can't get in your classroom, or you can't remember what, maybe you need colored cups, you can't remember what color you need. Like I right now need green plates because I use them all for my ocean theme, so I need to replenish my stock of green plates. So you're gonna wanna write that down, because you're not gonna remember when you're at Dollar Tree 2 months later and you can't get in your classroom. So what do you have? What do you need? What do you need to replace? And what do you want to be on the lookout for? So it's kind of like a little wish list of things that you want to purchase over the year. Because I would always go, oh my God, do I have enough markers? Do I have enough whatever? Or glitter, Play-Doh, whatever it might be. So put that on the list so you know. And then this is a yearly reflection page. So this is maybe some themes you're thinking about doing next year, some new strategies that you want to try. What do you want to make over the summer? Do you want to implement like linear calendar? Do you want to do fine motor journals next year? Do you want to try doing question of the day? Do you want to revamp your writing center? Don't pick too many things, obviously. So pick one thing or a couple things that you want to make over the summer. And then what do you want to organize? Obviously, do not organize your whole classroom. That's overwhelming. And I'm an organized person, and that would overwhelm me. I would always pick like one thing every year that I would want to organize. Like I would maybe 1 year organize my classroom books. 1 year I would organize all of my art supplies. 1 year I would organize all my themed stuff. So don't overwhelm yourself. So these are again free on the blog. Put these on a clipboard, put them in your teacher binder so you have them and you can just add to them all year. Put them on a clipboard so your the other teachers in your classroom can add to them too as you go. The other thing is, I just said teacher binder. You can, if you want to now, print your teacher binder, and that way it's ready in case you want to do something over the summer. I never plan for next year. I would never plan for next year, usually until July, because I would want my brain to have a break before I started like planning out my themes and all the things. So if you want to make your teacher binder, maybe you just want to make a different cover. Maybe you need new tabs like mine. So you can also work on your teacher binder or make one for yourself. Somebody told me and reminded me this week. The teacher binder calendar, I made it editable, but I did it different than I did years past. You need to see the tabs. So I have a whole Facebook Live on my teacher binder. A whole Facebook Live. And I have a blog post. So if you want to see, hold on. If you want to see that up close and want to see all my tabs, how I make it, how I put it together, it's backwards. Shoot. Oh yeah. So my tabs, if anyone is wondering, so I have calendar, basic info, student info, curriculum map, lesson plans, parent communication, plans and reflections, teacher things, and then I have my domains, which is where I keep kind of like planning helpful things. Like I keep my STEM stuff in here. I have literacy, math, block STEM, social emotional, science, dramatic play, my notes, and lists. And I know some of you guys do stews. So in the math tab, I printed off each picture, and I just printed each. I selected these in Adobe. My throat's getting a little dry from talking so much. I went in Adobe and I printed these like however many to a page I could fit, so that way I had all of them kind of at a glance. So if you have stews and you want to do that, that is the way to do it. So yes. So teacher binder, if that's on your to-do list, awesome. I also try and make copies, not a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I never made a lot. If I was, the copies I would make at the end of the year were for portfolio things I knew I needed to replace. Like if I needed more letter assessment or whatever, I would always go through my portfolio, student portfolio stuff, and I would replace those. And then I would also print off reading logs for next year, because I did reading logs in my class every year. My kids love them. I would always see how many extras I had, and then kind of ballpark it. I would use the same color so that way I wouldn't waste paper and have to throw them away and start over. So that way those will be done for next school year. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but just knowing that my reading logs are printed and ready to go and my portfolios are ready to go, even though the names and stuff wouldn't be on them, it made me feel at ease. So sometimes it's just what makes you feel better. And then let's talk some organization things I have for you that's free that you could use to help you. Again, if you're picking one thing to get organized, this could be your thing. So all of my themes I keep in these tubs. They are the scrapbook cases from Michaels. I'll link them. They're on Amazon as well. I'll link both. Always wait till they're on sale if you're gonna buy them from Michaels. And what I keep in here is, you can see, like, this is the summer theme. So I always have the summer center pack, and then I have all the games, and then any manipulative that are specific to that theme. Like, here's some flamingo things. I have some pineapple ones. I have some summer straws, and a lot of them, and then I also put, and I don't put all the manipulatives in here, but, oh, you can't see it. So in the corner, I just put one of the manipulatives I have. So that way I remember I have these things in my closet, so I know to get them out when I'm doing that theme. So I just kind of have one of the mini erasers I have I could use for summer. Like, I have these little ants I like to use for summer, and these little gems. Whoops, that one flying. So I put those kind of up here in the corner. And yeah, so I keep all of that in here. And then I also keep samples, like here's bubble painting we like to do for a summer theme. I keep that in here too. Stickers for that theme I put in here, because otherwise I will forget to go find them. And then so on the blog I have these labels that are free and editable. I also, if you like them to match all the things, I also have them for each theme. So like this one is pets and food. And then like so this is my project, can you tell? So I started cutting them out. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't have labels for all of the themes that I have now, so I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna switch out my labels so that way all of my tubs are labeled. So that is my project I'm gonna do. So you can tell I got started, but didn't finish, and that's okay. And then also, if you do like bigger tubs, there's also these binder covers. So like here's the one for apples, here's the one for school. You can use those as binders. There's also binder spines. These are in my TPT store. So you can use them for binders. You can put them on the front if you do the book ring like me. You can also put them on like a big plastic tub. If you use plastic tubs or boxes, just print them like 2 to a page. So they'll be about this size, and then you're ready to go. And so you can print those off and get all your tubs organized. And then I'll show you my other project I am going to work on this summer to get organized, because like I said, I only do a couple, and I just have to relabel those tubs, so that's not a huge project. So my other one is, I'm switching my dramatic play, not the boxes, just the printable part. I want dramatic play binders, so I have it all ready to go. So these binders, the spines, you can either put them in one, like I'm probably gonna have, I think 3 or 4 is my guess, how many binders I'll have. And then in each one, I'm gonna have them hopefully in alphabetical order, but I'll have each one. So like this is the bakery. I have all the printables that I'll copy in a page protector, so that way I didn't have to hole punch them. And then I have the teacher web, and then I have all of the teacher pages for the bakery theme behind it. And then I have like bowling alley. I've only done some of them. Garden shop, grocery store. So I have a couple of them because I kind of had them like in with themes, and I couldn't find them when I need them because I have a lot of themes now. So I want to get all my dramatic play printable stuff. And again, this isn't all the things in my box. So typically, I'll show you a picture instead of walking you back. I keep all of the dramatic play props in a white copy box. And then this is all the stuff that's inside. So that's all gonna stay in here. I'm just gonna make a binder with just my PDF part that I have in my TPT store for each theme. So see, I'm ready to make more binders. I'm ready, just not there yet. So, but that's okay. You don't have to do everything right away, right? It's when you have time. So don't stress yourself out to get organized. Because you have time, we have all summer. So yeah. So, oh, and these are free on the blog too. All the dramatic play covers. So yeah, so I hope, and like I said, like I have these projects ready so that way if I have time or if I feel like it, I can. If I don't, I might get to that in July. So if you're not there yet, that's okay. I will say, typically, I usually take, every summer, I would take about when I didn't write curriculum for you guys, I would take about a month. I would take the whole month of June completely off. And then usually after 4th of July, because we would always go back to school at the beginning of August, or teachers would go back the first week in August. So usually once July 4th hit, my teacher brain started to turn back on. And then I would go in my classroom the last week in July, kind of a whole week before we were coming back in. So I always gave myself a whole month off, didn't think about teaching. So if you are not there yet, especially after this year, if I was teaching this year, I'd probably be like, nope, I'm not thinking about it at all. Like, I'm just gonna go back way later until my brain is ready and my heart is healed and my head is healed and all the things. So you guys are rock stars this year. So yeah, but I will be here the whole time, the whole summer. So if you have an energy spurt in June, I will be here helping you guys out. So you do you take care of you before you take care of your classroom for next year, because we need you guys feeling good again, because I know this year's been hard. So yes to all the things, but don't forget there's tons of freebies I have for you. I'm just gonna give you a recap of where the freebies are. These like teacher reflection pages and like lists, these are on the blog pocketofpreschool.com end of the year post. All of the end of the year student tags, these are on the blog too. So on the blog. So yeah, so make sure you grab those freebies. And then if you want to use the learning choice boards to send home, which I can't reach, sorry. These are on the TPT store, home choice boards. So hopefully that helps. I hope you guys have an awesome night. And again, if you want to see the Facebook Live on my graduation, on my teacher binder, or any of the other things I've done, the link is at the top. So you guys have an awesome night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day. Enjoy your weekend. See you later.